South Monroe Street, Eagle Pass, Maverick County, Texas. We do have a quorum today. Mayor Pro Tem Davis, Councilman Garcia, Councilman Diaz, myself, Mayor Salinas. Absent is Councilwoman Cruz. Moment of reverence. We always like to take a moment in honor of our military, so if we could please do that. Thank you very much. We do have a very, very special recognition today. For this, I would like to invite Counselor also, if you could please join me here at the front. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We have a very special guest from our Mexican Consul, Consul Vivian Juarez Mondragon. She's here joining us today in this very special meeting. As you know, we had a lot of special events in the community celebrating Mexican Independence Day, 16 de septiembre. And on behalf of the city, I want to tell the Consul how much we appreciate all the hard work and dedication that her and all her staff, they have to the citizens of Eagle Pass and also our counterparts in Mexico. Muchas gracias por todo el trabajo que desempeña usted, Consul. Estamos bien agradecidos con todo lo que ha hecho en el tiempo que ha estado aquí en Eagle Pass. Parece que lleva 6 meses, ¿verdad? Sí, 6 meses. Y le digo, se sienten como que fueran más de 6 meses porque se ve que usted y toda la oficina están bien involucrados con la comunidad y estamos muy agradecidos con todo su trabajo. Y quisiéramos presentar esta proclama en honor de ustedes, de la oficina del cónsul, y lea así. Siendo que México, gran amigo y vecino sureño de los Estados Unidos, obtuvo su independencia hace 213 años. Y siendo que la gente de México celebra este evento histórico con el tradicional grito de independencia y una variedad de festividades. Y siendo que la ciudad de Eagle Pass se une con la comunidad México-americana para celebrar la fiesta tradicional de Noche del Grito en la Plaza San Juan los días 15 y 16 de septiembre. Y siendo que la ciudad de Eagle Pass extiende sus mejores deseos a la cónsul de México, Vivian Juárez Mondragón, y a todos los amigos y participantes de las festividades del evento Fiestas Patrias, para una celebración con éxito. Por esto yo, Rolando Salinas, mayor de la ciudad de Eagle Pass, proclamo el día 15 y 16 de septiembre del 2023 como Días de México en la ciudad de Eagle Pass, y les pido a todos los ciudadanos que celebren esta histórica independencia de México en testimonio firmado este 19 de septiembre del 2023. Cónsul, gracias por todo lo que hace, lo que ha hecho, ¿verdad? Nuestras disculpas, yo sé que esa fecha del grito en la plaza, pues se nos vino la lluvia, ¿verdad? Y como quiera hizo usted la celebración, y muchos años todavía nos faltan para celebrar, pero muchas gracias por todo lo que hace.
No, muchas gracias por el apoyo de la ciudad de Eagle Pass y obviamente del alcalde Rolando, obviamente pues todos los concejales, gracias, ¿no? Y que nos apoyan, son unos aliados muy importantes para México, para el consulado, y bueno, estamos haciendo muchas cosas conjuntas también. Sí. Hoy tenemos el de Mexicana Emprende, que también lo hacemos con la ciudad. Así es que muchas gracias.
¿Usted invitar a la gente que vaya a su evento?
Sí, claro que sí. El día de hoy vamos a lanzar por primera vez el programa de emprendimiento Mexicana Emprende. Lo estamos haciendo transfronterizos, la primera vez que se hace en toda la red consular transfronterizos. O sea, este programa empezó en el 21, pero nosotros vamos a hacer con Piedras y con Eagle Pass. Están entrando 30 mujeres. 30 mujeres, casi mitad y mitad de Piedras y mitad y mitad de acá de Eagle Pass. Las vamos a llevar desde cero hasta que lancen su negocio, 4 meses de acompañamiento, y lo más importante es que son mujeres que, digamos, muy echadas para adelante. No pusimos, las únicas condiciones fue que fuera mujer, porque es un programa también de apoyo a las mujeres de género y que sean de origen mexicano y que tengan muchas ganas. Es un programa gratuito y la idea es que ellas puedan poner su negocio tanto aquí como allá, o sea, que puedan hacer negocios en ambos lados de la frontera. Y este es un programa piloto para Eagle Pass. O sea, hay varios consulados en Europa, en Medio Oriente, que ya están haciendo desde el 21 este programa, pero somos el primero que lo vamos a hacer transfronterizo. Y si pega aquí y tenemos éxito, se va a replicar a lo largo de los 11 consulados de la frontera. Entonces esto sí es inédito, y la Cancillería decidió empezar aquí con nosotros con Eagle Pass, por ver el dinamismo comercial de la ciudad, de todo lo que hay, y del interés de apoyar a estas mujeres que les decía no hay edad para ser emprendedora, no importa el nivel educativo, no importa incluso si no tienen el dominio del inglés, cualquier mujer puede ser emprendedora. Y lo vamos a ver que tenemos chicas muy jóvenes de 20 y tenemos señoras de 60 años. O sea, realmente esto es el mensaje para la comunidad, es un programa comunitario y la verdad vamos de la mano con la ciudad de Eagle Pass, a través del Departamento de Desarrollo Económico, nos están dando todo el apoyo y estamos más que agradecidos. Y obviamente también gracias por prestarnos la placita San Juan y porque nos van a prestar el Conosca para el Día de Muertos, porque si no vamos a tener Día de Muertos. ¿No? Y pues, somos aliados, somos más que organizados, más que agradecidos.
One more.
Yes, please. Gracias. Y se llama todo este nuevo programa y con todos los eventos que tienen. Adelante.
Thank you all. We do have a citizens communications. America Garcia, Rural.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, hello there.
I had intended to come up here and ask that Eagle Pass put out a statement for the UN's International Day of Peace, which is coming up on September 21st. Things have changed. But this year's theme is Actions for Peace, our ambition for the global goals. It's a call to action that recognizes our individual and collective responsibility to foster peace. As you know, peace is not just the absence of war, and I don't know that anyone here would say that we're living in peaceful times. Peace is the presence of justice, human rights, and dignity for all. Peace is threatened by the forces of violence, oppression, and exclusion that affect our communities, especially here along the international border. I know we have some difficult decisions ahead of us. I've been there, so I've worked disaster management. I know we have some tough times ahead of us. I ask that as you approach these decisions, that you keep justice, human rights, and dignity for all foremost in your deliberations. The world is watching us and the decisions we made. I'm receiving calls from international media today asking what is going on. This is what we're hearing, what's happening. The decisions that we make are reverberating around the entire world. You probably heard about migrants being shot in another country. You probably heard about the thousands of migrants who are coming from Africa, crossing oceans to get there. And those countries are taking their cue from the United States, from us here in Eagle Pass. So I ask you for the following. Please be aware of the potential risks of inviting external intervention, be it from the state of Texas or from the federal government. They have ulterior motives and agendas that are not aligned with the interests and needs of us, the people of Eagle Pass and Maverick County. These policies may benefit certain private contractors and political allies, but they may harm the human rights, I'm going to say they will harm the human rights and the dignity of border communities like our own and the migrants who are entering the country here. Be vigilant of the possible attempts to exploit the state of emergency to push through controversial or questionable measures that would otherwise face resistance or opposition from the public. We've already seen this with the buoys and the concertina wire and the containers. Those aren't in place anywhere else in the world. Nobody puts up containers to stop people. This came through because of the disaster declaration. There's been enough death this year already. We cannot look the other way and let others bloody their hands in our name. Because make no mistake, they are using our name, Eagle Pass, and they're saying, we want this with what they do. I ask you to be proactive in engaging and empowering us, the local community, to participate in the decision-making and recovery process, and to ensure that the voices of the people of Eagle Pass and Maverick County and our needs are heard and respected. Please do not rely. Be humane.
Appreciate it.
Please. Thank you. So peace is possible. And also, I have invitations here for the next Rio Grande Memorial Vigil. We've had a number of deaths, including of children. The Board of Vigil is run by our NGOs and our churches. It recognizes death, that there's nothing else attached to it.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
At this time, I will ask if we can move up number 8 before we get to the public hearings. Number 8 is consideration and possible approval of an ordinance amending section 27-10B1, Division 1, Article, is that I or 1? Article I of Chapter 27, Water and Sewer of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Eagle Pass, Texas, to update disconnected fee for after working hours, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public by law, providing a severability clause and establishing an effective date. Mr. Flores, how are you, sir?
Well, good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, administration. So we're here to amend one of the sections of the ordinance regarding failure to pay. Unfortunately, whenever someone gets disconnected, currently there's a $40 charge if you get connected after hours. It means during the weekends or even after 4:30 holidays, there's a $40 charge. We want to amend it to be $60. Currently, whenever we send one of our employees, we pay them 2 hours of overtime, so automatically that's roughly about $50 right there. And then we got to pay obviously gasoline. Gasoline prices are very, very high right now. And then obviously the maintenance on the vehicle. So it was our recommendation to our local board. We presented that item to them. They approved it, and it's our recommendation to obviously amend the ordinance to 60.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Flores. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion on this item.
So,
We have a motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Second.
Second by Councilman Diaz. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll move to the public hearings. This is a long one.
we'll be back in a bit when you're done.
Get ready. Okay.
There's no way to abbreviate it.
Item number 1, public hearing on the request submitted by buyer Janfen, Sonia Janfen, Sergio Zamora, and Linda Y. Zamora for the annexation, an ordinance providing for the extension of certain boundary limits of the city of Eagle Pass, Texas, and the annexation of certain territory lying adjacent to and adjoining the present boundary limits of said city, consisting of tracts consisting of approximately 2,148.58 acres of land, lying and situated in Maverick County, Texas, being 1,322.07 acres, composed of 552.19 in SS Sanders Survey 24, Abstract 824, 554.84 acres in SS Sanders Survey 25, Abstract 825, and 215.06 in SS Sanders Survey 26, Abstract 826, Maverick County, Texas, and part of 1,357.09 acres, described as Exhibit A, in conveyance to buyer Junfin et al., recorded in document number 2113541 of Maverick County Official Public Records, Maverick County, Texas, being 416.44 acres, composed of 58.64 acres in SS Sanders Survey 25, Abstract 825, and 379.37 acres in SS Sanders Survey 26, Abstract 826, Maverick County, Texas, and part of a 160.95 acres tract described as Exhibit B in conveyance to buyer Junfin et al., recorded in document number 2113541 of the Maverick County Official Public Records, Maverick County, Texas, being 297.98 acres, composed of 185.45 acres in Antonio Sanchez Survey 512. Abstract 1170, 80.96 acres in S.S. Sanders Survey 25. Abstract 826, Maverick County, Texas, and out of a 314.63 acres tract described as Exhibit C, in conveyance to Buyer Junfin et al., recorded in document number 211-3541 of Maverick County Official Public Records, Maverick County, Texas, being 112.09 acres, composed of 34.57 acres in S.S. Sanders Survey 24, Abstract 824, and 77.52 acres in S.S. Sanders Survey 25, Abstract 825, Maverick County, Texas, and part of a 136.52 acres described as Exhibit D in conveyance to Buyer Junfin et al., recorded in document number 211-3541 of the Maverick County Official Public Records, Maverick County, Texas, authorizing implementation of the service plan of said territory, all as described herein, and providing for an effective date. Okay, we will go ahead and open this public hearing at 5:48 p.m. Mr.
Mayor,
Medina?
Council, thank you, good evening. The applicant here is the Junfin family, Buyer and Sonia, along with Zamora, Sergio, and Linda. There are various properties involved in this voluntary annexation of 2,148 acres approximately, comprised of four primary tracts that make up that total acreage. And we'll go through a couple of the details here. This is part of several required public hearings for the annexation or adoption of new land to incorporate into the city limits. So the applicants did submit a voluntary annexation petition. Here's an aerial map showing you the vicinity. El Indio is going from top left down bottom right, and these are rough depictions of the overall tracts or acreage portions that make up the total acreage. The majority being west of El Indio, southwest of El Indio, and then other sections also around the intersection of El Indio and 480. Here's one of the documents prepared by the engineer of record. So you have the Rio Grande on the left, and these two, major portion, which is both sides of 480 here along El Indio, would be going up and down on the screen here. Here's a section from the other side. Again, El Indio and 480 as reference points, and in blue showing these sections that make up the voluntary annexation area. Here's a zoning map with a star showing the general area again of this land. It is a significant parcel of land, over 2,000 acres, and with the city's existing roughly 6,000, this is fairly close to about a 30% increase in the city's incorporated area. This is a master plan that's been provided by the applicants of what they foresee the development to be. Orange is showing industrial manufacturing type areas, green showing parks areas, purple commercial business types, and then green residential and yellow high multifamily type of residential. So this master plan will be going before P&Z and then coming before council once they're ready to plat. But this is just giving an idea of what they foresee and what the city is looking at or has seen up to this point. And this does look like a very viable way of laying out the land. Part of this process, what we're doing here today, is service plan acceptance, that we can service this new section of land, and two, the permanent zoning. Critical to point out, so this master plan depiction that we have, it has multi-zone types. What we're presenting here, and it's due to circumstances of the applicants and trying to get some of the properties developed soon, what they plan to develop first is at the top of the screen, the industrial area. So they, because they don't have meets and bounds separating each of these different zoning areas, we're not able to separate them out into those for this purpose today. So we're presenting it as all being industrial because that's what the first section that will be developed and platted first will be. But with the condition that development agreement that's going simultaneous with this project will include the rezoning of some of these areas that are not as appropriate to be industrial, such as up here where we anticipate more residential abutting when these areas are developed. State does require, again, that service plan provisions as part of annexation. This is a quick snip from the Texas Local Government Code. So our service plan does include several areas of what the city does need to provide when we do annex. So it includes police protection, fire protection, building inspection, planning and zoning, libraries, streets, stormwater management, street lighting, water service, sanitary sewer service, solid waste service, and other miscellaneous municipal services that are provided to the city's residents would need to be provided to this new area. City Secretary goes through a process to advise and notify our city departments that would have to provide these services, and the city can provide service to these. There is no paved streets developed here, so it wouldn't be immediate additional burden on our public works. As those streets and areas are developed through platting, then it will take on a significant amount of additional maintenance, being again about 30% more in land area compared to what we have now. Again, similar to police and fire, without there being developed homes or businesses, there's not a significant additional burden at this time. Annexation scheduled today, September 19th, part of various required public hearings. We have 2 more after this as part of the process. And the recommendation, as we took this to Planning and Zoning Commission, they do recommend that council adopt and approve this voluntary annexation of 2,148.58 acres with the establishment of the permanent zoning as industrial, with the condition of the development agreement, including that rezoning in the future when those areas are platted, and also accepting the service plan as I described before. Any questions?
I have a comment. Our city is growing right now. You know, there isn't any even residential lots, so commercial. This is going to add a lot of land, much needed land, I think, to the city. Can you explain what you're saying? Is right now it's going to get approved as industrial, but the agreement is that it'll contain what's there, right? Residential and
as it becomes developed.
yes.
As it's developed.
And what are are there any legal safeguards to guarantee that?
So the development agreement is a critical one of making sure that we have that in place, and that development agreement is a legally binding document as part of the development with the pit and TERS involved. So the city does have those assurances based off of that agreement. Platting would be required in order to develop these areas, so they do still need to come back to the city for those processes as well. And so that's the way we would want to place that in the agreement, that before platting takes place, it would need to be rezoned to the appropriate zoning as described in this master plan that we have. So we hope to reference this in that document.
Gotcha.
It is a very big opportunity for the city to gain additional areas for property tax, sales tax, and things of that nature.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any comments? Anyone in the public? Since this is a public hearing, any opinions, comments? Council? Okay. And your recommendation was to?
Was to approve this.
Approve this? Okay.
That's correct.
At this time, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:56 p.m. And this is item number 9. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
To take action, yes.
So we can go ahead and move to item 9. Now, legally, do I have to read everything again? No?
You've already read it.
Yeah, okay, good. I've already read this item onto the record in the public hearing, so this is the same and we're just voting on it. So at this time, we've heard the recommendation, comments. I'll entertain a motion on item number 9.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Diaz, a second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion, all in favor? It is unanimous. Number 2, public hearing on the request submitted by Jose A. Jimenez for the rezoning of Lot 12 in Block 39 of South Heights, 898 Kifuri Street from I Industrial District to R1 First 1 Family Dwelling District. Closing of public hearing. We will go ahead and open this public hearing at 5:57 p.m.
Good evening, Mayor and
Good
Council.
evening.
So this item goes hand in hand with item number
10.
10, correct. So what you have before you is a rezone request submitted by Jose A. Jimenez for property located at 898 Kipuri Street. Here we have an aerial map of the site. A photograph of the subject property.
Is that currently like vacant, right? The
It's
building?
occupied.
It's occupied?
Yes, the owner is occupying
Okay.
the structure, the building. Its current use is commercial. This is a former Kirby building.
Yes.
So the request is to rezone from industrial to R1, which is First One Family Dwelling District, being that that's the most accurate zoning, being that the use is currently being used as a residence. Here you have additional photos. Here you have the zoning map. As you can see, these are all the properties depicted as red is industrial, but those are, the majority are residential structures. So the most appropriate use would be for us to recommend approval for the request. We did send out 22 notices to the abutting property owners, and we received 4 in favor.
Okay. And they brought this request, the owners?
Yes, the owner.
'Cause do they want to do anything to it?
It's actually, he's selling the property. He already has a buyer. The buyer was approved for the loan, but the bank requires the property to be.
There we go.
a single family.
wanted to get the reason.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the reason behind the rezone.
makes sense to me.
So our recommendation is that City Council prepare and adopt an ordinance granting a zoning district change from I Industrial District to R1 One Family Dwelling District for property legally defined as Lot 12 in Block 39 of South Heights, also known as 898 Kifuri Street.
Okay. Any public comments on this item? Any comments from council? We'll close the public hearing at 6 p.m. and we can go ahead and move over to number 10. And do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve, Mayor Pro Tem Davis, second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Am I correct?
I'm sorry, I'm writing.
I know. Just, you never know.
Yeah, I did make a motion, but I don't want to do it
I
right.
know. Item 3, public hearing on the request submitted by Juan and Maribel Salazar for the rezoning of Lot 11 in Block 55 of Hillcrest Addition 2010 Olive Street from R3 Duplex District to R3A Apartment District, and closing of public hearing. This public hearing is open at 6 p.m.
Mayor, Council,
Placido.
this rezone may look familiar to you. We had these applicants come before you with a petition to rezone the neighboring property to this one on Olive Street. The applicants are Juan and Maribel Salazar. They are here with us this evening. This property is 2010 Olive Street in the Hillcrest Addition subdivision. It is already zoned R3. They're seeking to rezone to R3A, which would allow apartments. So R3 allows for 2 units, duplexes. R3A allows for more than 2. Their previous petition for the very next door property was rezoning from an R1 to R3A. There was a miscommunication. They believed that the previous process was gonna do both of these, is what they've advised us. Maribel, upon taking the application, the understanding was it was for one, and all of our documents have always shown that previous one was for one. So now they are wanting to go through this process to rezone both, because their plans are to utilize both as a apartment type of multifamily. We did discuss, I'll cover a couple more details here. 7,500 square feet property. It is a fully developed area with other multifamily and single family, and is in the vicinity of some of our stores such as H-E-B. Here's a couple of site photos. You can see the Housing Authority multi-story property there in the background. This is a rendition or a potential layout of what they may be looking to do. One bedroom apartment units. You may recall the applicant described the local need for one bedroom specifically. She mentioned for elderly. So this is a layout that they are looking at. Again, this is just for rezoning. They would have to go through the actual permitting process to submit something like this if it is rezoned. The zoning map, you can see the yellow coloration there. There's quite a bit of single family on one side, and then quite a bit of duplex, multifamily, or business district also on the opposite side of where this property is located. We did talk about some letters in opposition. 25 notices were mailed out. 4 were returned in opposition. That's from 2 different property owners, one who owns multiple parcels, and returned those in opposition. And again, you may recall we discussed some of the concerns they had about the higher density, the parking, the utilities such as water, sewer. We did reach out to Waterworks, and they did not have any concerns with that. So, with that being said, we did take this to Planning and Zoning Commission. They did recommend approval of this, and we're also recommending approval for this rezone from R3 duplex to R3A apartment district, subject to them complying with City of Eagle Pass Code of Ordinances. Any questions?
Any questions from the public?
What were some of the other concerns from some of the property owner, because I know I had several of them call about the changing of the layout of the neighborhood and stuff like that. I had a lot of the residents call, and that's why I was wondering what was documented, because I can't, like I told them, I said you should have submitted. I mean, I know some of them they called said they had, but I don't know if all of them did. I really don't know. I'm just going based on hearsay. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so there were, again, like the parking, overcrowding of streets if the apartment does not have the required number of parking spaces. In this case, that layout they showed that they plan to do does have the amount required based off of those.
If they build, you would, obviously, they won't get a permit until they comply.
That's right. Additional density, additional people in the area, utilities being taxed a little bit more than what they currently are, were some of those major concerns.
Do you have similar apartments in the vicinity? You do, right?
Yes, we do have some. It is important to point out, one of the residents of the area did point out that some of the apartments in the area are legal non-conforming. So they are there because they've been there quite a few years, many years, probably before we even had the zoning district classification this way. But there are several apartments in the area, and the other thing we feel is very important. We noted in the previous presentation is density around high, business areas, H-E-B, these are type of areas where you see that type of higher density where people are able to walk more affordable homes and get to their place of business or everyday places that they need to do their business. So for those reasons, we do see that even with residential in the area above, when we're looking at this map, it is a ideal place where upzoning and additional density for more people to have close access to those areas is our planning recommendation.
Any further comments from council? Okay. We'll go ahead and close
I'm not sure if anybody from the public.
Anybody from the public? Comentarios? No? Okay. We'll close the public hearing at 6:06 PM. I believe this is item 11,
Correct.
which has already been read on the record. So does anyone in council want to put out a motion on this item? We have a motion to approve by Councilman Garcia.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Diaz. Discussion. All in favor? It's 3 in favor?
That's correct.
Okay, and one in opposition, Mayor Pro Tem Davis. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So it passes. So we go now to the consent agenda. Thank you, Maribel. Oh, no, I was skipping one. Number 4, public hearing on the request submitted by Gonzalez and Gonzalez Real Estate LLC for the rezoning of lots 1 through 4 in Block 5 of College Hill Subdivision Unit 1 from B1 Neighborhood Business District to B3 General Business District, and closing a public hearing. We will open this public hearing at 6:07 PM.
Thank you, Mayor. What you have before you is a rezone application submitted by Gonzalez and Gonzalez Real Estate LLC, property located at Megan Street, near the vicinity of the Fort Duncan Hospital. Legal description being lots 1 through 4 in Block 5 of College Hill Subdivision Unit 1, and the request is to rezone parcels from B1 Neighborhood Business District to B3 General Business District to allow for the construction of apartments. The current use is vacant and undeveloped. The proposed use, again, multifamily dwellings, parcel size being 1.829 acres, and there's no depiction on the master plan. Areas out of range, or for the future land use map.
Can you show the previous picture? That one, okay.
So this is the site. The site is in an area that is primarily comprised of commercial developments, mostly medical and multifamily dwellings in the vicinity. This
Is
in
there like
the-
a drop off towards the back there, or is that in the other area? Right, so I'm trying to just figure out.
What side are they on in the bottom picture?
It's on this side, right here.
They're on the left.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
So
that's,
is it like you're driving from Maine, basically it's on the right? ¿Verdad?
that's from
Monday?
the hospital.
That's from
The
the,
hospital is further.
behind
up.
us,
It's-
on the,
This is the hospital going
Yeah.
this direction, this is going back towards.
Towards Maine.
right. That's something on the top, it's the one over there. So as I was saying, as you're driving from Main Street, it's to your right.
That's right. And the hospital, or that area does have a large,
Pond.
lower
Drop, that's what I was
grade
saying, there's like a
pond.
drop
That's probably
off.
what you're seeing there, yeah.
Mhm.
The plan, what kind of units do they want to build? Like,
Let me go and see, check.
I
and
mean,
see if
there's
we
not
have
an
the-
issue with that because of the retaining pond thing that's there, I mean.
Currently, the engineer, there's an engineer looking at the detention currently.
Mhm, the
I mean, this
safety of
is
it.
just a concept
Right.
site plan, but they're looking into that. They have to comply with the pond if it's not, the runoff is not routed to that pond, they have to
Mhm.
conform with our
Mhm.
drainage code.
I mean, it'll be safe for them to build that there?
has
I'm
this
sorry?
I
gone?
mean, is there like not a safety issue or something? I mean, I'm just asking, I don't know.
Yeah, some of the elevation lines are shown, so it's.
Yeah.
That's what was my
if the
concern.
drop is not within the property, you can see where the line
It's
is
behind.
closer to it, and
Okay.
after it does drop.
Okay.
Outside of
I mean, like I said, I just don't want someone to build and people be, you know.
Yeah. Was
And
this taken to the planning and zoning board? already?
Yes, it was
Okay.
taken last, week, was it?
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday, last Thursday.
And what was their recommendation?
To approve.
What kind of complex are they building?
To be
Two-story,
honest,
one-story?
what it is,
It
says 3 floors.
Yeah, three floors.
3 floors.
3 what?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry?
with all that
3
parking.
floors.
Well, you know, that's, the hospital has a lot of nurses from out of town. People need the housing, and that's a prime spot where people in healthcare, Mr. Diaz would know, I mean, they would probably want to live somewhere close.
And it's a total of 36 units.
There's no residential area.
36.
No.
No,
Across,
just
across the highway.
apartments.
So we won't be disturbing anybody.
No? Okay.
No, they're just other apartments down the road.
Any comments? Well, you still have more, right? Sorry.
I'm gonna go ahead and present you with, we did send out 10 notices to the abutting property owners, and we received none in return. So the recommendation from Planning and Zoning Commission to Council is to adopt an ordinance granting a zoning district change from B1 to B3 for property legally defined as lots 1 through 4 in Block 5 of College Hill Subdivision Unit 1, subject to the project complying with subdivision and building codes.
Okay.
And that
Any-
is the report.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Any additional comments from council? We will close the public hearing at 6:12 p.m. And we move to item number 12. Do we have a motion in regards to this item?
Oh, go ahead.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Garcia, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Davis. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Now we can move on to, thank you all, to the consent agenda items, item 5, 6, and 7. These are all, one of them is a second reading, and the 6 and 7 are the third and final readings. At this time, do you all want to pull any of these items out to discuss individually? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Someone?
Motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, second by Councilman Garcia. All in favor? Unanimous. We did 8, 9, 13. Third and final reading of an ordinance regarding the City of Eagle Pass, Texas Municipal Retirement System benefits. 1, providing for increase to the employee contribution rate. 2, adopting non-retroactive repeating COLAs for retirees and their beneficiaries under TMRS Act Section 853.404F and F-1. 3, authorizing annually accruing updated service credits and transfer updated service credits. And 4, authorizing actuary determined by city contribution rate payments. Finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law, providing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
Great.
Ms. Campos?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So this item is essentially to increase retirement contribution from the employee and the employer. This was an item that was discussed with the administration and the directors as a way to improve the employee benefits package overall. The focus and the goal has been, recruitment and retention. And understandably so, the question was raised, the actual contribution amounts. That was provided to you all. We reached out, TMRS was able to provide those projections for the next 8 years. We were also able to get you what it would look like current. That way you can do a good comparison. So I don't know if you have any questions on those.
I just thank you. I mean, I know I asked for the information and you provided it timely, and that's all we can ask for. I just want to make sure, like, what we're looking at.
Right.
I mean, as we're looking at,
Right,
if not, I think I might get
that's-
something thrown
no,
at by
that
our
makes
finance
sense.
director over here, but no, I just want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence with tax dollars, and I thank you for bringing the plan before council, because, I mean, we do appreciate what everyone does. And retention is very important, and I don't want people to think that I was not in favor of it, but like I said, we just need to see how it affects our finances.
Absolutely.
Right.
And just for the record, what is that number? To put it on the public.
So the number
For
Like the difference or the-
Yes, well, the contribution.
the employee contributions is
6% or?
Yes, increasing from 5 to 6.
All right. At
I'll make
this
a motion
time,
to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, a second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. 14, third and final reading of an ordinance adding new section 22-91.3, Article 6, Chapter 22, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Eagle Pass by incorporating usage and fees for golf course, finding that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law, providing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
Good afternoon, Mayor Council. So we're going to request to table this item. Currently, we did add some of the fees that Councilman Garcia requested on the shed fees, but we do have a golf course consultant looking at the fees, make sure everything's market value. We would hate to bring this item back at a later date to change fees, so we're just making sure everything's correct before we adopt the third and final reading.
Okay, so do we have a motion to table? We do have a motion to table by Councilman Garcia, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Davis. All in favor? Unanimous, item table. Thank you. 15, consideration and possible approval to enter into an agreement between the City of Eagle Pass and Friends of Eagle Pass, Inc. for City of Eagle Pass golf course concessions.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So the Friends of Eagle Pass currently has an agreement with Touchstone Golf for the sale of the alcohol at the golf course. Since the city has terminated that agreement, we do need to enter into an agreement with the City of Eagle Pass and the Friends of Eagle Pass. Essentially, it just authorizes that sale of alcohol using the Friends of Eagle Pass license. And in return, the City of Eagle Pass will receive 25% of alcohol sales as payment for the rent for the concessions.
Do we have a motion to approve this agreement?
So moved.
We do, by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion?
Jesse, did you specifically authorize?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, correct. So in this situation, we're actually asking authorization for legal to negotiate and execute the agreement.
Mayor, the reason being that there's members that are city employees, but they're also on the board.
Right.
And so to try to keep that, it was discussed before the meeting.
Correct.
Yeah, so either Ms. Sophie or I will handle.
I'll amend my motion to reflect
We have an amended motion to reflect that
the
understanding
consideration.
by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, a second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. 16, consideration and possible approval of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Eagle Pass, Texas, appointing a member to the Main Street Advisory Board.
Yes, Mayor, Council, this appointment corresponds to Councilwoman Cruz, but she is not here, so
If we
I
could-
request a table.
I'll make a motion to table.
Motion to table by Councilman Diaz, second by Councilman Garcia. All in favor? Unanimous. Item tabled. Executive session. 17, executive session pursuant to sections 551.071 and 551.074 of Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney on personnel matters regarding pre-civil service sick leave hours for firefighters and police officers, and possible action in open session regarding same. 18, executive session pursuant to section 551.071 and 551.074 of Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney on personnel matters regarding employment contract with Sofia Garcia Berain for services of city attorney, and possible action in open session regarding same. 19, executive session pursuant to sections 551.071 and 551.072 of Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney and deliberations about real property regarding a development agreement with Bayer Janfen, Sonia Janfen, Sergio Zamora, and Linda Y. Zamora, and possible action in open session regarding same. We will go into executive session at 6:20 p.m.
I was waiting for you to say that. It's your tagline. That's como Mayor Foster can paz descanse say about paradise. Is that's your tagline?
Oye, todas las invitaciones. Send the newest council member, right? He's got to pay his dues. What? Te tengo una invitación. Hey, Mayor Pro Tem. He's gonna go to what you can. That was quick. You don't want to send a rookie? Might mess up. You've been volunteered already.
While you were out, we volunteered you to go to this.
That's fine.
Shall we?
We're good.
Okay, we're returning from executive session at 7:24 p.m. We'll start with item 17, executive session. Pursuant to sections 551.071 and 551.074 of Chapter 551 Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney on personnel matters regarding pre-civil service sick leave hours for firefighters and police officers, and possible action in open session regarding same.
I would like to make a motion, is it? Just to go ahead and proceed with the recommendations of council as discussed in executive session.
We have a
Sorry, I
motion.
got a little tongue tied here.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, a second by Councilman Garcia. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. 18, executive session pursuant to section 551.071 and 551.074 of Chapter 551 Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney on personnel matters regarding employment contract with Sofia Garcia Berain for services of city attorney, and possible action in open session regarding same.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to negotiate the contract with Ms. Sofia Berain Garcia for city services of the city attorney.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
The same.
I'm sorry? Yeah,
And-
to negotiate and execute as discussed in the executive session, sorry. That was my recommendation.
Yes, we have that motion by Mayor Pro Tem Davis, second by Councilman Diaz. Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. 19, executive session pursuant to sections 551.071 and 551.072 of Chapter 551 Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney and deliberations about real property regarding a development agreement with Bayer Junfen, Sonia Junfen, Sergio Zamora, and Linda Y. Zamora, and possible action in open session regarding same. I believe we did receive information in executive session. This is an informational item. No action needs to be taken. With that said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Mayor Pro Tem Davis and the second by Councilman Garcia. All in favor? Unanimous. We are adjourned. 17:06.
I didn't know I left my AirPods here.
I leave them everywhere, and they just start using them at the office too.
But it's, no, the charge. Los más baratos. I should have, like, when I had, because I moved, and then I went to.